I'm hitting the spot right now. Okay, anyways. Hey Slay Bays, what's going on? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, what I'm going to be doing is a video testing out a bunch of new products. You guys love my last video so much, I was like, you know what, why not just keep it rolling, keep it going. So in today's video, I have a variety of different things to test out. They're all affordable. I do also have the Through My Eyes palette by ColourPop and I Love Set AE, amongst other things from like Rimmel and Wet n Wild and things like that. So I'm really hoping you guys love this video just as much as you guys love my last one. And if you do love it, of course, don't forget to thumbs it up so that way I know you guys like it. Press the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel and click that bell so that you guys are notified anytime I upload, which is 2 times a week every single week. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and y'all don't want to miss out on the fun. With that, let's go ahead and get right into the video. All right, so I went ahead and zoomed you guys in just so that you guys can get a closer look of the eyeshadow application. First and foremost, I will start off by priming my eyelids. Today, I will be using this by Rimmel. This is the brand new Stay Matte Soft Matte Concealer. You guys know I really love to use concealer to prime my eyelids. This is going to help with the overall longevity and just ensure that your eyeshadow has something nice, sticky, and tacky to lay on top of. Following that, I'm just going to take a big fluffy brush to ensure that the concealer is nice and blended. Now that my lids are nice and primed, I'm going to move on to using eyeshadow. I will be using the Through My Eyes palette that Karen created in collaboration with ColourPop. And as you can see, the color story on this palette is insanely beautiful. I am so incredibly happy for Karen. I think that this is a really, really awesome collaborative palette. As you guys know, I love the mirror at the very top. I feel like it's very travel friendly. We also have the names of the eyeshadows. This is my type of collaboration. Let me just say that. I'm going to first start off with this shade right here called In a Wink, and I'm going to take that on an M441 by Morphe and rock this into my crease to act as my base color before I go in with my transitional color. So that shade definitely went on more like a soft peach, but I'm not even mad at it. The next shade I'm going to use is called Wild Soul, which is the yellow within the palette. Y'all already knew I had to go in with this yellow because girl, it is stunning. So stunning, and I am using that same M441 by Morphe. That yellow shade literally blended out like a dream. It's not patchy or anything like that. Extremely pigmented. I'm gonna switch over to using an M433 and I'm really going to rock this into the socket. So what I'm doing here is I'm really just intensifying the shadow right here in the crease, and I'm taking my brush from outer to inner corner right here in my crease. Ooh, girlfriend, let me tell you, stunning. So stunning. I'm obsessed. I'm going to pick up this shade right here called Missbehave, and I'm going to take that on a clean M433, and I'm going to start placing it right here on my very outer V, and I'm going to go in small circular motions to really start building up the intensity of where I want this color to be. One thing I will say is that the eyeshadow is clinging on to my concealer or my base in a very, very strange way right here in this area, causing it not to look as blended, but I think I could fix it. It could just be the concealer that I used. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on. The next shade I'm gonna take within the palette, it's called Flecks.
No flex.
Not Flex, but Flecks. I'm gonna spritz my brush with a little bit of Fix Plus just to get it going, because again, I'm not gonna be cutting my crease or anything like that. I'm just gonna start patting the shadow directly on top of the lid. And I'm just gonna lightly buff it into this red shade right here by taking my brush and just wiggling it side to side. I am getting quite a bit of fallout with this shade, just so that way you guys are aware. So I will go in just patting motions to minimize the amount of fallout I'm getting. So I want the shadow to be most intense at the base of my lash, and then once I start getting right here in the crease, I want it to be nice, soft, and diffused. So I'm just taking whatever's left on my brush and just pressing it right here into the crease, because again, I'm not going for more of a cut crease look where it's like really, really defined out in the crease. I just want it to be nice, soft, and kind of blown out. So I'm just kind of patting my brush right alongside this edge so that way it's nice and soft. So when I get to this area right here, you'll see that it'll start to look a little strange, but don't fret. I will be adding more of a deeper color right here towards the outer V. That's essentially going to bring this entire look together. So just stay with me. The next shade I'm going to take within the palette is this one called Divina, and I'm going to take that on an M507 by Morphe, and I'm going to use this shade to really deepen up this look. So I'm going to start off by pressing it right here towards the lash band, and I like to start off with a little bit of color at a time. So I'll go in, press, and then feather it out. All right, so far I think it's looking really, really good. I am noticing that this very deep color looks a little patchy in this area, so I'm really going to take my time and buff and blend out this edge just so that way things look a little bit more seamless. Taking a clean M441, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of the shade called Divina, and I'm just going to go in very small circular motions right here in the very outer socket, and I'm also going to open up my eye a little bit just to really get it in that socket. I'm going to go in with an M433, pick up some more of Divina, and I'm really going to press it right here towards the very outer V just to try to cover up this little patchy moment I'm having. Honestly, sometimes I feel like with darker colors from ColourPop, they can get a little bit patchy right here in this outer V area, but like I said, it's a hit or miss. I still really, really do love the palette and the color story within the palette. So far, I think that's looking really good. I'm going to go right back into the shade called Wild Soul on that same M441, and I'm just going to bring up that yellow a little bit more because a lot of it did get covered up in the process of adding that deeper shade to the outer V. I'm also going to add in just a little bit more of the shade called Misbehave right here in the crease. I'm just taking a clean M507 and I'm running it right here into the outer socket of my crease just to lightly diffuse out that really deep shade called Divina. So now that I've deepened up that outer V area, I can go right back into Flecks and just re-intensify this area because it did get a little wonky when I was adding that really, really dark shadow towards the very outer corners of the eye. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup with a makeup wipe because as you can see, things got a little out of control per usual. So I'm just going to clean up all of the fallout on my cheek. I'm actually going to end up dipping out of this palette and using the shade called In Light from the original Jaclyn Hill palette to act as my brow bone highlight. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little mini break from the eyes and I'm going to start working on the skin. I'm going to start off by going in with the CoverGirl Full Spectrum Matte Ambition Mattifying Skin Primer and Sunscreen with SPF 20. I'm going to give it a little bit of a shake and use this to prime my skin. So it does look more like a milky consistency as you can see. So not bad at all. Ooh, it also feels really, really smoothing on the skin, which I love. I'm now going to move right along to foundation. I'm going to use the CoverGirl Full Spectrum Matte Ambition All Day Shine Free Foundation. I picked mine up in the shade Light Neutral 2. It looks a little bit dark in the packaging, but light neutral. It should be a fairly decent match for me. I'm going to start in the very center of my face and work my way outwards. Whoa, light neutral too? Girl, this is pretty dark for a light neutral. I'm still putting it on my face because I feel like I could lighten it up with powder and concealer. At least I hope I'm going to be able to do that. We'll see. Alright you guys, so this is pretty much the coverage of the foundation. This is the finish. I think the finish is very, very beautiful. If I had to compare it to anything, it would be their other matte foundation. It's very, very similar. I will say that the color is a little bit off, light neutral 2, and this is what I got. I look pretty orange. I do feel like it's oxidizing on my face, but again, this is the only shade that I currently have. So we're going to roll with it and we are going to make it work, okay? I do have a concealer to try out. This is the brand new Rimmel Stay Matte Soft Matte Concealer, and I did pick mine up in the shade Vanilla, so I'm hoping that I can kind of, you know, put this in a lot of areas to lighten my face up because clearly the rest of my body is like a whole different color. So this concealer right here by Rimmel, the Stay Matte one, on the skin it kind of looks a little bit like gray compared to my actual foundation, but then again the foundation is like orange, so them together, I don't know. Okay, so I feel like the concealer is lightening up the foundation just a tad, and I'm all about that, so. So I know I said in my last video that I didn't really like the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder, but I do want to give it another try within this video. So I will be using this again. This is in the shade Light Medium, and I'm going to use this to set directly underneath my eyes. Instead of using a sponge, I'm actually just going to use a brush to dust a light layer underneath my eyes, just so that way it doesn't cake up or crepe up or anything like that. I could definitely say after applying this powder, it does give my skin some slight sheen. You guys see that? I don't know how to feel about it. It is really, really beautiful underneath the eyes. I'm not gonna lie. It's not getting cakey or anything like that, which is really, really good. It has brightening properties to it. So as you can see, when the lights kind of hit my cheek, you can see some kind of luminosity, but it's not like too overpowering. I'm also gonna take this powder on my Cupid's bow, chin, down the center of my nose, and forehead. I am gonna stick to what I know, and I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in the shade Medium 2. As you guys know, I do love this. I haven't used it in a really, really long time, but I'm gonna use this to really just dust over my face and just set things down. I'm taking this powder directly underneath my eyes, and I'm also going to set all of the other areas of the skin, and also put it directly over top of that area with the bump that I just drew so much attention to with that very kind of like luminous loose powder by NYX. So I mean, to each its own. If you have oily skin, you may not like that powder. If you guys don't mind the subtle shine, then you may like that powder. The only thing I will say is that it obviously just accentuates texture and things like that. It looks beautiful underneath the eyes though. I'm not even gonna fake the funk. I'm gonna use this Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer in the shade Sunset Striptease to add a little bit of color to the face. I'm gonna clean up directly underneath my bronzer with a little bit of the Collab Set the Stage Ultrafine Loose Setting Powder in the shade Porcelain Ivory. Now, there was a lot of speculation that our brand was being discontinued from Sally Beauty stores just because we do have some items on clearance. We actually have quite a few items on clearance, which essentially means that once they're gone, they're gone. They are going to be discontinued, but our brand is very much staying within Sally Beauty stores. We're just getting rid of old products to bring in new products that we've been working on for the past few years. So just wanted to clear the air because so many of you guys watched Juicy Jazz's video where she said that it was going to be discontinued, and that is not true. So just wanted to put that out there in the universe. So I went ahead and wiped the bake off the skin. What I'm going to do now is highlight, and I have this palette right here by Milani. This is the Milani Shimmering Face Palette in the shade Luminoso Glow. So I'm going to take this champagne shade right here within the palette and use it as my highlight. That highlight literally is so freaking stunning. I'm also going to take a little bit right here down the center of my nose. And I'm not going to highlight my Cupid's bow today just because I do have that little bump right there that I'm not trying to draw too much attention to. For blush, I'm going to stick to using this one by Milani. I did use this in my last video and I really like it. It is one of the powder blushes in the shade Romantic Rose. And the reason I'm using this is because it is extremely matte and I don't want to draw any more attention to my cheeks. And I want a really nice matte blush. Now, just for shits, you can definitely go back into the Milani palette and pick up one of these shimmery shades and use it as a blush topper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mauve shade or this deeper blush shade right here, and I'm just going to lightly dust it on my cheeks for a little bit of shine. And the reason I went in with the matte blush first is because I really just wanted this to act as a really nice blush topper. So for the most part, the face is done. I'm now going to move right back up to the eyes, and the shade I'm going to take from within the palette is called Misbehave, and I'm going to put it on my lower lash line with a flat definer brush by Sigma. Once I have Misbehave on the lower lash line, I'm going to pick up a little bit of Wild Soul, and I'm going to put it directly underneath that red shade to add that yellow back into the look. So following that, I'm going to pick up the shade Divina once again and push it right here closest to the very outer edge of my lash line just to connect it with the shadow on the upper lid. So lastly, I'm going to take this shade right here and pop it in my very inner corner. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put on some mascara and falsies, and then we'll finish things off with the lips. All right, so we're finally gonna move on to the lips. Let me just say, the foundation has been on my skin for a little minute now because I actually had lunch and stuff, and it is so incredibly dry. Like, my under eye area is like, it looks like really dry, and I have so much texture going on right here, and I'm just not the biggest fan of the foundation as of right now, at least. Anyways, I'm gonna move on to the lips. Karen did launch a lip bundle within her Through My Eyes collection, so I have them right here, and I have no idea which one I want to wear. Which one? I'm gonna go in with the nude. This is called Sueno de Coco. Sueno de Coco. Hey, I probably said that all wrong, but we're gonna pop this baby on. Can I just say that this is probably gonna be my go-to nude lip? Like, I'm all about it. She also came out with an ultra glossy lip in the shade Glass Slipper, and I'm gonna take a little bit of this and pop it in the very center. Lastly, to seal the deal, I will be using the Collab Grand Finale 3-in-1 Hydrating Setting Mist to, you know, give my skin some hydration because she is hella dry. Woo! She is dripping wet. And just like that, you guys, this is the final and completed look using all new affordable / drugstore products. And my armpit itches. Where was I? I will definitely say that I absolutely love Karen's collaboration with ColourPop. I really love the concept of the whole entire collection. Through My Eyes, super cute. I really love it. The only shadow I will say that gave me problems is this one right here called Divina, the dark shade in the very outer V. I don't know what it is, but anytime ColourPop comes out with a dark brown like that, it always gets patchy on me no matter what. I don't know if it's just me. Let me know if you guys ever experience issues with the very dark browns in ColourPop palettes, because I'd love to know your opinion or your experience with those particular shades. But all in all, I do really love the collection. As always, I will have asterisks next to every single product that I know and love and would recommend a million times over. Again, I tried the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder and I don't love it. I feel like my under eye area just looks so dry. It looks like I aged like 30 years. That's pretty much it, you guys. As you can see, I tossed on a hoodie because this foundation is like 3 shades too dark for me, and me and Bae are about to go to the movies, so I need to kind of conceal the fact that my face doesn't match the rest of my body. So I love you. Until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces. Outro of the outro, the outro of the outro. So you guys made it to the outro of the outro, which makes me so incredibly happy. I'm hoping that you guys really enjoyed this video. Let me just say, my skin, it feels drier than the Sahara Desert. It honestly feels really dry. If I had to rate the CoverGirl foundation right here, right now, I would say it's a hard pass. And that's me just keeping it real. I'd love it if you guys subscribe to my channel by clicking my face right up here. Also, check out this video and this video. Odds are if you guys like this video, you're gonna like some of my other ones. Goodbye.